Greetings ladies and femboys, today I'll be taking you for a deep dive into Reinhardt's kit in 2023 and how to play him. I know what you're thinking, 2 videos in 2 days? That's fairly unheard of, and there's only one person in the Overwatch scene at the moment that's more prolific than me. Of course, that person being Aspire. Anyway, this video is aimed for newer players to Overwatch, if they even exist. I very much doubt this, as the game is sitting on 590,000 active players midday. Reinhardt's stats are more volatile than a smackhead on a council estate. They get changed every other patch, and you never really know what's going on. But these are the basics that you have to know. As of recording, Reinhardt's a 600 HP hero, with half of that being armor. On top of this, he has a 1200 HP barrier and steadfast as his passive ability, which reduces knockback by 50% on boops, fires concussive grenades, and Orisa's javelin. The first of the main 3 offensive abilities that Reinhardt has is his melee rocket hammer. It's exactly how it sounds, a huge hammer used to crack opponents over the head with, which deals 85 damage per swing at 1 swing per 0.96 seconds at a maximum reach of 5 meters. Reinhardt's rocket hammer is the main reason he's used so frequently in brawl comps. Moving on to Reinhardt's second ability is fire strikes. Forget Sniper Monkey, you're going to be sniping people out the air quicker than Dreamcasper adds back children. Allegedly, of course, allegedly. We're not trying to get sued over here. Anyways, Reinhardt has 2 fire strikes each on a 6-second cooldown, dealing 100 damage and having a cast time of 0.48 seconds. Fire strikes are primarily used to poke the opponent and build ult charge, especially against comps that you can't just rush onto. But once you get enough hours in and understand the speed and trajectory, you soon be sniping kids out the sky like your Private Ryan. Moving on to Reinhardt's third and final offensive ability, charge. Like I mentioned before, Reinhardt's stats are very volatile. Charge time has been reduced from 10 seconds, like on the diagram, to 7 seconds. This comes with an initial 50 damage when you hit an opponent, 300 damage when you pin them against a wall. Luckily for new players in Overwatch 2, you can actually cancel your charge, so you don't go flying off the map when you miss your opponent. Charge is best used to secure a kill on a squishy after shatter, or even coming back from spawn after you get slammed for the 4th time. Now moving on to Reinhardt's ult, shatter. I'm not going to even try and find an up-to-date statistic on what's actually going on here, because they change it pretty much every single update. But all you need to know is Reinhardt unleashes his hammer, smacks it across the ground, and it knocks down any opponent that it hits. The shatter radius itself is in the shape of a semicircle, in front of where he drops the hammer. This determines who gets knocked down and who doesn't. Like I say, this is constantly changing. Shatter also has the ability to cancel other ults as well as charge, such as Moira's Coalescence. If you pin her, it'll cancel Coalescence, and if you shatter her, it'll cancel it as well. No matter what Reddit tells you, no, you can't force Reinhardt in every situation. Although he's serviceable, you need other heroes, especially in the higher skill tiers, to enable you to play the hero. Firstly, you need to think about the supports. For example, this diagram would demonstrate to you which supports help enable Reinhardt and which simply don't. Again, just bear in mind that these are rank dependent, and this is tuned towards the metal ranks and lower ranks. The first support you should be looking for is Ana. Nana Reinhardt is very strong for helping you build shatter quick, and Nana can save you when you int into the backline. Let's put it this way, Ana is to you what Naloxone is to a heroin addict. They're there to keep you alive when you go a little bit too deep. Drug references aside, Anti-Nade is unreal when used with a well-timed shatter, so the synergies with the abilities are also definitely there. Moving on to Lucio, this is fairly self-explanatory. Lucio allows you to close distance to be effective with your hammer swings alongside building ult more easily. Although Lucio's healing output is less than stellar, you will need to be aware of when your Ana or second support is preoccupied. Again, to keep it simple, Kiriko. Kiriko has Suzu. Suzu keep you alive when you run too far in. To avoid another heroin joke, we'll just leave it at that. But also as an honourable mention, Mercy has no real specific synergies with Reinhardt, but res at this rank is unbelievable and you should really be wanting to bring it every game. Now don't get me wrong, characters like Bap and Brig are definitely serviceable and actually quite good when playing with a Reinhardt. The way you've got to play when you've got these heroes, you have to work as a team, coordination, and the entire team needs to know how to play the comp properly. At these ranks, that is just not going to be achievable, so it's best to stick to the easier characters, or at least the characters that you don't need to know much about the game to use. For example, Moira. Yes, the burst heal is good for Brawl, although she gives no utility unlike Ana, and your whole team needs to be coordinated with the Brawl to get any value out of Moira's kit. And in the way of DPS, it's not hard to figure out. You'd like DPS who can follow up on your shatters, such as as Genji's Blade or Torp's Molten Core, or even Symmetra to TP you into the backline to shatter. With this being said, your DPS line is far less crucial as a Rein player than your supports. No, it was all just a big mistake. The famous words uttered by many Overwatch League players and a lot of the BBC. No, I'm only just joking. We all know the BBC would just flat out deny anything happened. On to the biggest mistake I see with lower rank Reins, and that's not knowing how to play your role properly. Many Reins would go out of their way to be super aggressive, chase kills, and let's be honest, feed their brains out, racking up more deaths than you'd like to admit. Your job is for the most part to create, take, and hold space for your DPS to do something big. You need to allow them to get their TikTok montage clips. Tank can be a supportive role sometimes. Remembering you have a large HP pool and a massive shield to soak up damage will help you take space and allow for your DPS to do the rest. Fortunately, playing tank, you're just not that guy. Finally, you need to understand Rein has a skill ceiling. Unfortunately, all great things have to come to an end. Once you advance up the ranks, your ability to play Rein will pretty quickly worsen. Wanting high masters and low GM, you'll have to conform to the meta. Players will know how to play around you and exploit your weaknesses such as your lack of range and limited mobility, forcing you onto a functional alternative such as Diva or increasingly now Junker Queen. Yeah, that's about it. Bye.